Hello. So I thought I would talk about Elon Musk because it's big news on Twitter. He now owns Twitter. It's a have to. He tried to weasel out of the deal, especially when he found out of the high amount of bots that are on Twitter that aren't actual accounts. So him as a businessman was like, this is not a good business thing. This is a losing business deal. This is like buying MySpace. So, he kind of already, obliged himself to buy Twitter. So Twitter held him to it. And he got screwed. And so now he owns Twitter. And with that, he's fired several high up people. And I guarantee it was because he viewed him as problematic and getting a high salary. So he is chopping away just as any corporate businessman would do, getting rid of problematic people for him and getting rid of people that make a high salary. And then he's going to implement people that aren't going to request a high salary at the level of the Twitter people that he got rid of. And he is going to do his own salary negotiations. Guaranteed, because he is a businessman. That's who he is. He's also autistic. Don't forget that. He has said that he has autism. I believe him. I do think he has autism. He manipulates Dogecoin. He does it all the time. I called him out on it once, casually. Someone saw my tweet and then tried to sue him. And, whatever. So he does manipulate. He uses his stance to manipulate to make more money. That's what he does. He's a greedy man. He's a businessman. That's all he cares about. He's not an inventor. So all the things he's associated with, like SpaceX, like the brain thing, I forgot what it is, the thing that he's trying to invent with supposedly going to help people that, for example, that have, they're paraplegics. Supposedly the brain thing is going to help them to transmit thought, to make, music come into their head just by thinking about it. Basically as soon as you think it, it's going to, something will, come of it. Like, words will come easier, music will come easier, things, supposedly it's stolen technology from another person that invented it, and his technology and his company that's trying to do this is failing. So it's under all these experiments. They've experimented on a poor monkey, and I feel bad for the monkey. But anyway, it's a failed experiment, and who knows? I feel like with his whole thing about Mars and wanting to populate Mars and wanting to go to Mars and all this stuff, I feel like really his whole thing with AI and this whole thing with the brain thing, I think that, with him being 50 or however old he is, I think he's, having a midlife crisis and thinking, I'm not going to live forever. How can I, like any business mogul that is a billionaire, what every sci-fi movie, every cartoon that makes fun of corporate billionaires like The Simpsons, what is those people always trying to do? They're trying to cheat death by downloading their soul into an AI. That's every sci-fi movie, everything, every like episode on 90s Outer Limits that you've ever seen. It's insane. I think that's what he thinks he's going to try to do, and I don't think he's going to succeed. So we'll see. But Elon Musk is not a good guy. He cheated. He's committed adultery. He knew Amber Heard was legally married to Johnny Depp, and when Johnny was away making a movie, when Johnny was away doing stuff with his band, that's when Amber cheated hard on Johnny in his own home. I wouldn't be surprised if it was in their bed. She's disgusting. She's a disgusting slut. And all she's got is her looks right now. Looks are fleeting. She's going to get old. And none of that is going to matter in 5 years, 10 years. With the amount of drugs and drinking that woman does, she's not going to have her looks for very long. And plastic surgery can only do so much. So good luck. Good luck to her. Good luck to everybody. Her looks are going to be going fast. But Elon, I think with his whole stance on propagating babies and having a ton of babies, I mean, he's got 15, and he has said, men should have a lot of babies, and has said stuff like that, which I'm like, that's so highly irresponsible. I'm against abortion, of course, as a Christian, but do I think somebody should be irresponsible and create a ton of babies? No, I don't. Especially if they're not going to get love and attention. It's irresponsible if you're in a position, even if you're wealthy, if you're in a position where you don't have time for a child, you shouldn't have children. If you have the view that your business should come first and your kids should come last, you shouldn't have children. Kids, their brains, the most important time of development is the first 3 years. And my personal opinion, if you're going to have a child, the first 3 years are the most important. If you're in a financial position to stay at home with the children, you should stay at home with the children. Whether you're a man or a woman, whichever one, those children need that attention. They should have at least one parent at home with them. They should not be in preschool if you can help that. If your main priority is to live, and keep up with the Smiths and have the greenest lawn and have the biggest, lawnmower and the biggest house and the biggest, playthings and trips and whatever with your house and living in a certain neighborhood, and that's all you care about, of course you're going to have a double income, and of course your kids are going to come last. And that's really sad. You only get one go on this planet, and you can't take your money with you when you die. You can't. And when you die, I don't know about everybody else, but my family became vultures when my dad died. It was sickening watching people just take what little he had. So when you die, keep that in mind. Whatever you have, whether you have I forgot what it's called. My dad had one, but it didn't serve anything. I mean, I got nothing when he died. So, a will. That's what it's called. So if you have a will, I mean, even if it's ironclad, good luck, because the kids are going to slug it out. People are going to slug it out in court. It's really stupid and ridiculous. And I think that's why he wouldn't marry that lady, that musician girl that has a weird name. I think that's why he didn't legally marry her. But the crappy thing is, it doesn't matter if you're in certain states. If you've lived with somebody for a certain period of time, they can become your I forgot what they call the technical name, but your companion can become your legal mate by just living with you for a certain time period. So it doesn't matter if you're legally married with a piece of paper. If they've lived with you for a certain amount of time, they are still considered your mate, and they can legally go after anything you have. So, and it's hard to evict and hard to get rid of a person after a certain amount of time too. So just something to keep in mind. But he's not a good person. He helped Amber Heard with her whole thing with NAACP. He's a member of NAACP. He's a very liberal, non-profit organization full of dirtbag, greedy, awful liberal people. It's an awful cause. It's an awful organization. It should just implode. anything to get rid of it. I wish it'd go away. But he's still a part of that. He is not... He may have professed that he is a conservative Republican, but he is not. He is still part of all his liberal ties and ways. He's still attached to all that. I'm pretty certain, too, that he helped Amber Heard with her surrogate baby. So somebody donated sperm to a surrogate baby that was created for her so that she wouldn't have to have a baby because she's selfish and didn't want to ruin her body, because that's all she's got right now. So I don't know if her sister was the surrogate mother. I don't know who was, but somebody was a surrogate mother for her, and somebody donated sperm to help create the kid. And Amber is a mother, which is terrifying because she's very borderline, very narcissistic. That child is just being used for attention and for her own love. And that's really, really sad. That kid is going to grow up going, God, I have to listen to all her problems and all of her issues, and I don't get any attention, and I'm not going to be able to be a kid. That kid's life is going to be a living hell. That kid's probably going to be an addict just like Amber is. And looks are fleeting. The drugs and alcohol are going to take its toll, and it's just a matter of time. She's not going to have her looks for long. Plastic surgery can only do so much. But Elon is involved with her. He's helped her a lot. I'm pretty sure he's a mystery donor of her fancy desert ranch that she had to sell. I'm pretty sure that he also donated the money for her to live in that mansion in Virginia during the court case against Johnny Depp. So, you know, off of Amber Heard, but Elon is not a good person. He is a billionaire that he's not self-made. His dad was a millionaire who gave him money, who gave him millions. So it's not like Elon is a self-made millionaire. He is not an inventor. He just owns a lot of different companies that he thinks is going to help him. I think all his little inventions, like his attempt with the AI, his attempt with the brain thing that he tried to, basically the plans were already made by somebody else, and they stole the technology, and they were trying to do their own thing with it, and it failed, and they've been using monkeys, which is really sad. But he's not an original thinker. He doesn't create these things. Someone else does. Like, he's already talked about bringing his engineers from Tesla over to Twitter to tweak it. So that should tell you a lot. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just a businessman. And now he's going to use people that helped to create the Tesla automobile to work on Twitter, which is kind of terrifying. So say that you miss a payment on your Tesla, that car drives itself back to its dealership. It's horrifying. And say that your battery stops working and you can't charge it anymore. The battery's just dead. You have to pay pretty much the same amount as what it costs to buy the Tesla. It's crazy. So think about all that. And his talk about being a Republican, that came right before, and he was like, this is going to come, there's going to be some liberals trying to smear me, trying to make me look bad, and it's because I'm a Republican now. And I'm like, surely people aren't going to buy this. They bought it. All the Republicans on Twitter were like going, yay, he's on our side, he's a Republican, blah, 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 blah. And they were just salivating over it. And he was like, some bad things are going to come out. And then as soon as he said that, the very next day, it came out that he was majorly sexually harassing a woman on his SpaceX company. So really, come on. He is not a Republican. He is still associated with the NAACP. He is probably still as liberal as can be. And so it's really ridiculous that the Republicans buy that and think that he is actually a Republican. He is no more Republican than Tulsi. So, and then this is the other thing I think is hilarious. There is so many Republicans on Twitter, and there's one in particular that has like 200,000 followers or something, and he tried to run for senator, but he is like, it's like he's ordering a menu from McDonald's. He's like, okay, so, and he's tweeting Elon, like he thinks Elon's gonna read his personal tweet, like they're besties, and like as if Elon is totally going to take him seriously because he's a Republican that tried to run for senator or Congress or whatever the political seat was. But so he's like making this McDonald's menu type of thing, and he's like, okay, so Elon, the first thing I want you to do with Twitter now that you own it, I want free blah 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 blah, I want this. I mean, it's like totally like, you can't order this business mogul that is a basic corporate mindset type of person. You can't order it like you're ordering a McDonald's meal. This is not up for debate. You don't have any power or pull here just because you have a lot of followers and you go to these rallies and all this other stuff that you do. So it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of funny watching, and I really hope that you will really stop and think about your support of Elon Musk. He is just a corporate loser.